Hi guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Chancer, the fantasy football show we bring you each and every week here on the Upper Tier podcast on YouTube. Going to kick straight back into last week and just see how I done. So in goal I had Sanchez, no clean sheet for Brighton last week, so finished on 2 points. Then at the back, unfortunately, Van Dijk didn't keep a clean sheet again, so going forward, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at. And unfortunately, Botman as well for Newcastle did not keep a clean sheet, but William Saliba popped up with another one and a couple of bonus points in the victory against Chelsea. So if we scroll into the middle of the park then, Mo Salah on form again, as we can see there, 15 points, great turnaround for him. Like to see more from him like that this season. I've kept him in my team even though he's been poor some weeks. Mikel Almiron, who I got in, another goal last week. Bukayo Saka on the assist again from the corner. And Andreas Pereira with another assist, and he got 6 points last week. Actually, sorry, he got a goal against Man City. It was the penalty and finished on 6 points. And then up front, I had Kane, who scored, Haaland, captain, who scored, and Jesus, unfortunately, drew another blank. And as you can see there on the bench, there's nothing really I missed out of on that side of things last week. So we're going to take a quick look at the league table now. So go into the upper tier. And we see Graham Ward, Mark Hogan, and Stephen English all still in the top three, haven't changed positions at all. So Stephen on 883 and Graham Ward on 899. So it's getting pretty close there. So I moved up a couple of positions, I think. Yes, up from 24 to 22, 788. So that leaves me about 110 off the top. But the top is not kind of where I'm looking at. I want to be around the middle where I am now. I'd like to ideally be in the top 10, but as you can see, we still have the full round of 42 players there. So I can see Darren is actually coming up the league there. He did have a bad start. He was giving Niall all his tips, but he's starting to get back up the league there now. So I'm going to look at what I'm going for this week. And this is the last week before the World Cup. So I'll be taking a little bit of a break from the Fantasy Chancer. I may appear on the Upper Tier podcast over the World Cup. We'll have to see what way things go. So in goal, I'm going with Dean Henderson, Crystal Palace at home for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have been pretty solid, I'd have to say, at the back so far this season. And Henderson has been fantastic for them as well. A couple of penalty saves, a lot of bonus points going. So he's definitely a shout there. I've got rid of Virgil van Dijk for Kurt Zouma, which is kind of controversial, but I'm trying to maybe get more money into my midfield at the moment. So I've decided to make that switch there. And as you can see, Zouma, I'm not going to switch him now. Zouma is a tasty 4.5 million for a player that's playing every week, which is not bad at all. Leicester at home. Leicester kind of coming back up the league. West Ham were kind of coming back up the league as well, but stagnated over the last couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see what way that game goes. I've went for William Saliba, and beside him, Wolves. Wolves are going through a bit of a bad patch at the moment, and I got a victory over Leeds in the League Cup during the week, but I wouldn't read too much into that. Arsenal 7:45 today, because this video will be out on Saturday, so 7:45 today is that game. It's a late game. Arsenal have a chance if they win their game to go into the World Cup on top of the league, which is crazy when you think about it. So definitely a chance there for a clean sheet. I think it's going to be a tight game though with Arsenal. Wolves at fancy maybe a 1-0 to Arsenal, possibly if they can do it. Botman I've put in because Newcastle have been strong at home, and even they're picking up their form away from home now as well, which is interesting. So if Newcastle could get even a draw against Chelsea, they'd be absolutely pleased with that, considering the start that they've made this season. In the middle of the park, Mo Salah, home to Southampton. Southampton, life without the governor, as Niall and Darren call him, should be interesting. Will they get the new manager bounced straight away? Remains to be seen. You'd still expect Liverpool to be picking up a victory, and they really need to end the push for that. Try get back into the top four minimum for them. As I say, Almiron there, he's a player in form. They're playing Chelsea. Newcastle have been decent at home, so just going to leave him in there. Same with Bukayo Saka. He's in form at the moment. Tricky game, tight game, I would say, against Wolves, I alluded to, and going to keep him in there now anyway for the moment because he's still picking up some assists. Andres Pereira, a man with a point to prove at home to Manchester United, the player that wasn't deemed good enough for them. Could he make the difference this week? We'll have to wait and see. But in the form that man is on, I can't really drop him out of my team. And then up top, the same as always, Harry Kane, Leeds at home, Tottenham, not going through the best of times at the moment, and we're dumped out convincingly by Nottingham Forest in the League Cup during the week. Although I don't think there'll be too many tears shed over that, but at the same time, they really need to deliver a trophy. And if one man can deliver a trophy for them, you would think it's Conte, and maybe they should have really put more focus and attention into that League Cup. Beside him, Gabriel Jesus. Now I'm hovering around the idea. I've freed up a bit of money now, and I'm thinking of Alexander Mitrovic if his fitness is well after the World Cup to maybe go with him. And you can't really go against Erling Haaland. Of course, he's back to full fitness now. Man City will be desperate to beat Brentford and potentially go into the World Cup on top of the Premier League, which is where they want to be. And then you can see on the bench there, I've got Sanchez, Villa at home. I just feel that Villa are going to be a different animal now under Unai Emery, so I wouldn't expect them to be pushovers anymore. Nathan Collins, since he's come back into the Wolves team, hasn't been as convincing as he was before suspension. I'm going to leave him out of this simply because Arsenal are the only team in the league that has scored in every game so far this season. So I have to really leave him in the assumption that Arsenal will score and you lose that clean sheet. Nico Williams, Crystal Palace, that could have been one that I changed, but I'm just going to leave him out for this time. And then Reed for Fulham, I think he's suspended now for 3 games, so he certainly won't be there. So that's where we are coming into the little break before the World Cup. I'd like to thank everyone for becoming involved in the game and playing it and just adding an extra little dimension to the channel this year. And once again, I'll just say like, subscribe, share, whatever it is that you got to do to try to get the guys up, breaking this algorithm and just going up that YouTube ladder, because they're putting out fantastic content on a weekly basis. And I'm sure I'll see you guys on the channel soon over the World Cup. And best of luck to England when they face Iran on Monday week, because I don't think that's going to be too easy for them. Adios, guys.